Okay, so I'm going to just really quickly show you the previous pages that you're likely familiar with. So these are the Research Matters page that Alex mentioned and the calendar. Both of these will, like she said, automatically redirect to InfoReady. Okay. So then the InfoReady page can be found at uga.infoready4.com. So this site is active, so you're welcome to follow along as I go through the demonstration. So to begin, you will come to this homepage here. Right here, you will find a link to the website to subscribe to the weekly announcement email with limited submission opportunities. This is the calendar of current open limited submission competitions. It is on the homepage whether or not you're logged in, so you can always access it. And you can click and go into the individual competitions as well. Most of these are done off of a template, so it will look the same. We have the deadlines at the top, the details, and then the further you scroll down, the link to the actual solicitation, and then a description of the program. So another important thing to note on this homepage, you will have supporting information and announcements, this column to the right, the contact information, the email address, and phone number. If you have any questions or need any sort of support, you're welcome to reach out. A brief limited submissions and internal competitions rundown, and then the support documents here, I will show they can be found in a couple different places, but this link is very convenient for you guys to access. The applicant guide is very helpful. It has a step-by-step process of everything I'm going to show you today. And then this reviewer guide is something that will likely come later for some of you. We won't go too deep into that today. But to get started, as you can see, this login link right here will lead you to this page. We have integrated the single sign-on, so you will all be considered internal users and will not have to actually register like this down here says. So basically all you have to do is log in, and I'm going to use a departmental ID to demonstrate this, but you guys will all use your credentials. So as you can see, the main homepage remains the same. This is all of the open competitions again. These support documents and information are still right here for you. To begin, I suggest initially going up to your account to update your user profile. You can access this by clicking on the name. It should be your first name. My name in this is Research Examples, so that's why it says Research. You can edit and adjust your name as however you'd like. Your primary title is something that is optional that you can add. The primary and secondary organizations, this is where you're going to find and select your department or unit, which will then autofill in all of your applications. InfoReady already has all of the colleges, schools, departments preloaded into this. So you'll just use the drop-down menu and then find the appropriate college or unit. And I will select Office of Research. As you can see, it drops down. You've got all of the different centers. I will just select Office of Research. Make sure to save and close. And then it will save it like this. As you can see, it will be very easy to go back and adjust this and change it as needed. Which for the sake of this. Your primary organization should be your primary UGA appointment. If you have a joint appointment, we suggest setting your primary organization as whichever unit you will be applying under the most often, since this is setting a default for all your applications. But it can be changed, like I said, in the profile or later in the individual application. You can also set up a secondary organization and switch between the two when you're applying. So you can select any of these, and it will save both and autofill them. Degree and phone number are also things you can add if you'd like. The email address is automatic and linked to the SSO system. Your role is automatically assigned. You will see applicant, potentially reviewer if you are asked to review for a competition. So this next part right here is designating a proxy. So this is where you can designate people who can submit applications on your behalf. such as a staff member, an assistant, a grad student, and so on. It's very simple. You can just select add proxy. Since everyone is sort of preloaded into the system, all you have to do is type in their email address and it will find them to you. You can add multiple ones and just separate with a comma and then add. And then this person will get an email notifying them that they have been added as a proxy for your account. Whether or not they have an account set up yet, they will still have that link and be able to access it. An important thing to note is that the only action that a proxy can take is to edit and submit applications on behalf of you. They're unable to submit reviews or reference letters on behalf of other users, but they do have access to make changes to all applications. So including the personal information and individual applications. So just something to be aware of. But it is very easy to delete a proxy if you just sort of need a temporary one. And you just click the trash icon and it goes away. And then very important to remember to save your changes. And then down here at the bottom is a brief summary of things I'm going to go into a little later, but these are all applications that have been submitted. These are all of the example applications that I have submitted to show you all today. But this sort of short access table here is very easy to manage. You can separate it by category, status, whether or not you are awarded. So then after you save your changes, you will go to the applications tab. I have applications that I have submitted for the sake of this demonstration. So I could show you all. As you can see, I have applied to multiple competitions here. The different status here, I have submitted 3. I have saved 1 as a draft, and then 1 we have been awarded, so I can show you afterwards. After you have been selected, there will potentially be a progress report, so you'll just access it from there. So I will go ahead and walk through and submit another example application. So we're going to use this big competition that we made for this. So as you can see, I have submitted other applications to this, and it does show me that. It shows my history of applications for each individual competition. If one of these was saved as a draft, so I can edit it or I can delete it from here as well. So the actual announcement here will be shown in this details tab that opens automatically, and it's the same brief solicitation here. But then if you want to apply, you can either apply again, or you can just select this over here, and it will bring you to the application page. So as Alex mentioned, none of the internal application requirements have changed. We're just using this form instead of the emailed PDF. This is also a standardized template for limited submissions, so there will very rarely be any variation in the application, with maybe a few rare exceptions. So this personal details area here is what will be automatically loaded. This brief question, you'll just select yes or no if you've applied to this in the past. This little asterisk means that it is required, so you won't be able to submit or save without choosing that. You can add co-applicants. If you add a co-applicant, you'll just put in their information, first and last name, their title, college, and department. And then the application details here, you will enter a unique title, unlike what I'm doing, so that you can tell these apart, because this is what's going to show up in the table on the applications table that you have. So if you want to tell them apart, be sure to do unique titles here. The proposal abstract, you'll just submit a very brief paragraph summary. As you can see, there are like instructions right here that you can see for any specific things that are required. Justification as well. Just going to put this in here. And then right here is where you will upload your proposal summary, your CV, any reviews from previous submissions. In other competitions, this CV and the proposal summary will be required, but for the sake of the demonstration, we did not. But I will upload an example PDF. So then you can delete it and access it there if you need. And that is essentially all that is required. As Alex said, it's very short. All of the requirements are the same. It is just a little more streamlined and hopefully less work for all of you to have to combine a bunch of PDFs. So then at the bottom here is where you can save or submit your application. And the save as a draft button right here is if you'd like to return later to complete your application. The submitting your application is when it is completely ready to be sent off. If you submit the application, you will not be able to edit it unless you contact the administrator, which would be Limited Submissions or me, and we would have to return the application to you, and then you could resubmit it. If it's already in the review process and you have a change that you need to make, the administrator would have to make the changes on your behalf. This right here is adding other email addresses for notifications for this competition. You can add a different personal email address or a staff member or a collaborator. And for the sake of this, I will save this as a draft. Okay. So again, it shows the same page, the details, and then this application will automatically pull up the most recent draft that you have, as you can see. So if you need to make any changes, you can, and then you'll just save your changes as a draft again when you're ready to submit. Oh, okay, that's good. So if you do not finish a required field, it will require it. It will have a notice here so that you can't submit it. Okay, so this is where it will automatically load your chosen organizations. Now I will submit. Okay, so you will also get an email once this has been submitted, just notifying you, but then you can go back to your applications tab here and it will show the newest draft that you have submitted. So from here, as you can see, this is the previous draft that I saved. You can delete it from here. You can access it as well from this page, and you can delete it from this as well. Okay. So then this third tab right here is just the calendar page. It's essentially another format of the homepage calendar. If you hover over the competition, it does pop up and show you the internal submission deadline, whatever deadlines have been set, sort of a quick access tool for those of you who like the calendar view. I believe this is a little more simple and easy to manage. But again, you can edit how this is viewed as well. The calendar view, you can't really edit much. So then the last and possibly most important thing is the help section. So if you hover over this in the top right-hand corner, the help and support, it will have this drop-down menu. And this is where you can access all of the guides that they have. They have written several articles. They have a few video walkthroughs on how to do any particular task. So I will note on applicant. Okay. And so from this page, you can submit a support ticket to InfoReady. And you can also access all of the resources they have available. The proxies section right here will answer most of your questions about setting up a proxy, what the system looks like on behalf of the proxy themselves, how to submit it, how to remove them. And then the resources themselves are relatively extensive. There's the applicant guide, which is essentially everything I just showed you, a brief rundown of the applications tab, the video, and so on. There are 2 pages here. So some of these also are helpful if you're having technical problems in the actual application, such as if something's grayed out, it will give you a short explanation of what would be going on. But then as you saw on this help thing, if you are a reviewer, You can also access all of the review support documents and resources that they have here, which is a very helpful and very quick access sort of thing. You can only access this once you're logged in. You can't access from the homepage if you are not logged in. So don't panic if you can't find it, just log in first. So that is essentially it. It is a very streamlined, very quick process. It may seem a little overwhelming at first, but once you get going, it is very, very quick. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you're welcome to reach out to the limited submissions email or search through this resource guide here.